Hi there, I'm Angela, and today I have a pattern review to share with you guys. It's for the Love Notions Duet trousers. If that sounds interesting, then stay tuned. So as I mentioned, this pattern review is going to be for the Love Notions Duet trousers. I'll put a link to that pattern below in case you're interested. It's not affiliated, but just for your convenience. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of information about the pattern just in general, and then talk about my experience making them and show you the result. So let's jump in. So the pattern does include both a straight leg and a tapered version. I went with the straight leg, and I've got a bunch of notes here. So if you see me looking down, I'm just checking out my notes. So that's all that is. So the size range is from 2 to 26. I cut in 18, and I made my kind of usual adjustments with my crotch curve and so forth. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as we go. So hang on to that for a moment. The suggested fabrics are light to medium weight woven, such as crepe, suiting, wool blends, and bingoline. I used a Gabardine suiting in the color Merlot that I got from Stylemaker Fabrics back in October. This fabric was perfect for these pants. I felt like I couldn't have chosen a better fabric. They worked out, like they just went hand in hand together, the fabric and the pattern. So you'll see how the result, when I do like my little twirl to show you guys the end result, you can kind of get a feel for the fabric. And here in just a minute, I'll kind of show you a close-up of the fabric. So were the instructions easy to follow? I thought for the most part they were pretty easy to follow. And there was I think three things I wanted to point out about this pattern. Not that there was anything wrong, but just something that was like different for me. The first was that, so in the back, the pants, there's a dart on each side. And when I printed the pattern pieces out, it printed like along the top line of the back waist. It did print out the markings where your darts start, but on mine, when I printed, it didn't print out like the bottom point of the dart, like the tip of the dart. So I don't know if that was something I did wrong. This was only my second PDF pattern that I've ever printed. So it's probably something that I did, but luckily I've made enough garments with darts in them in my lifetime that I could just figure it out, and it wasn't an issue. So there's just like a little heads up on that. And I'm sure it was probably just something about the way that I printed it. I don't know. Then with the front pockets, this was a very interesting construction method, and it was different than any other pants I've made that have front pockets. I'm going to kind of show you. I'll put in like a little clip of the pattern here to show you. And it's almost as if, well, it's not almost, it is that, so the pockets are not two separate like entities, one on each side. It's one big front piece that goes along the whole like front of the pants. And I'll kind of show you on my actual pants here in a second too. And then the other thing was that the zipper installation that was described in the instructions was different than I'm used to doing an invisible zipper. So in previously, whenever I've done an invisible zipper, I go ahead and stitch up the seam from where the zipper stops to below that. And then you work with the zipper above that. The way that these instructions called for, if I read it right, I was kind of getting a little ahead of myself, and I did, so let me back up. So I did kind of baste the inner and outer legs together just to do some dry fitting, and I left that basting in. So, so I kind of just jumped ahead and put the zipper in, but I'm pretty sure that the instructions had you put the zipper in and then stitch up the rest of the leg seam, the side leg seam. It's a side zipper. So I thought that that was kind of interesting. I'm not sure that I cared for it that much, but it's just a personal preference, and I think it's really what we all get used to. And before I show you the details on my actual pants that I made, you can also make these pants using a stable knit. And some of the suggested fabrics for that are Ponte and double knit. I think there might have been like another suggested fabric. And if you're going to do that, you would not need the zipper. You would use some 3-inch elastic like around the waistband. and a 7 to 9 inch zipper, and interfacing were the only notions that were called for, unless you were doing the knit version, then you would need the elastic too. So I am going to go ahead and grab my pants and bring them over and kind of show you that front pocket section. And yeah, so hang on, be right back. So I brought you over here to my table. First of all, I want to show you this fabric close up. And I know it's can't do it justice through the camera, but it's a medium weight gabardine suiting, and it feels so good. It's very, very lovely. I love this. It reminds me of a couple pairs of pants it was a style that I used to buy at Kohl's shopping center or shopping store, department store, that's the word, a while back when I worked my corporate job, and I would get them in black and gray. And this fabric reminds me of that exactly. It's so lovely. And then let me show you what I was talking about for the pockets. So I'm going to kind of show you the front of the pants here first. So this is the front. You can see there's pocket. And now if we turn it around and look at the inside, this is the front pocket. It's like one big pocket that spans the whole front of the pants. So if I were to put my left hand in and put my right hand in, like they can meet in the middle here, like my fingers can touch. So I don't know, that's kind of unusual. It's like, I'm not saying it's either good or bad, just interesting and unusual. And one thing I'm wondering, maybe it's constructed that way so that because they are meant to be dressier, you don't see like that outline of a pocket here on the front, because it's like a one solid expanse across the front. That's the only thing that occurred to me, like that might be the reasoning for doing this big wide pocket here. If you guys know more about that, I would love to hear about it. So have you guys made these pants, or have you done a pair of pants with pockets like that? I don't know if I did that wrong. This is my first time with this kind of pocket construction. I thought it was interesting and it was pretty easy, so I appreciated that it wasn't difficult. It might have actually been easier than doing separate pockets. So anyway, enough about all the details. I'm going to go ahead and put in a little video clip of me wearing the pants so you guys can get a feel for how they turned out. And at the time that I'm recording this, I still have to put the hem in the pants. So depending on how busy I could stay tonight and get these hemmed up, you may get a clip of me wearing unhemmed pants. So I hope that's okay. You'll still get to see how they fit and the general style of them and the way they look. I'm going to try to get them hemmed up before I film that clip, but that might not happen. So just a heads up in case you see that. So I'm going to put that clip in right now. So what did you guys think? I love these pants. I know I'm going to get a lot of wear out of them. They're very comfortable. Once again, I'll put a link to this fabric below from Stylemaker if I can. I had my husband block off from our internet all the fabric websites so that I couldn't get to them while I'm trying to sew down my stash this year. So I don't know if I'll have access to find this fabric on Stylemaker's website to put a link in, but if you just go to Stylemaker's website and type in Gabardine suiting Merlot, that's the color, this fabric should pop right up. This was such a good fabric for these pants, and it's so they're comfortable. While they're not like a strictly dressy trouser, they're dressier than what I normally wear on a daily basis. So I feel like I can really dress these up if I need to, or make them casual as well. I did one other adjustment that I made to them. I believe on the pattern that it said it was drafted for a 5'5" height person. I added an inch on because I'm 5'6", and I kind of almost wish that I had added another inch just in case I'm ever wearing slight heels or something like that, just to make sure that they weren't too short. So that might be the only thing that I would change. And one other thing regarding the fit, and this was on me. So I kind of described this in my last video where I use a template that I made that fits my, like, around my crotch curve up the front and up the back just perfectly. But I made that template off of a pair of cargo pants that I made last year. And those are looser at the top, elastic waist pants. So I didn't take that into consideration when I was using that template to cut these pieces out for the duets. And so while the crotch area fits fine, no issues there, where it comes up, especially in the back up to the waist, it was really roomy back there. And these are more fitted pants. So I ended up having to, right at the center back, take in about an inch and a half, like 3 inches total, an inch and a half on each side at the very top, and then like taper that down, going down towards my bottom. So, and it worked out fine. It's just I'm going to have to remember that whenever, if I make these pants again or any other kind of fitted pants and I use my little template, I'll have to just remember that and adjust for it. So not a big deal, but just something that kind of, like, it scared me for a minute. Like, oh, I thought this was the perfect template. What has gone wrong? But then it's like, oh, that's because it was for like baggier pants. It's all good. It is all good. It worked out. Otherwise, I really love them. I know that I will make them again. Now I'm kind of itching to make them in the stable knit version. I just don't know if I have any fabric on hand right now that I could do that with, and I'm not buying fabric. It's okay. I can always make another pair out of a woven. So I would love to hear your guys' input if you have made these before and what your experience was. I know that I did have one of you comment on my last video. I think it was my last video, um, that a viewer commented that she's already made these in twice in 2 different fabrics. So I guess that kind of goes to speak to how good they are. I love this pattern. This is my second Love Notions pattern that I've made. And so far it's been a solid 2 out of 2. I loved both of the patterns that I made. The other one was the Rhapsody blouse, like earlier last year in 2022. So I guess that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I wish you luck if you decide to make the duets. I would recommend them for sure. And I hope you'll tune in this weekend for Friday Sews, and hope you're having a great week. I'll talk to you then. Bye.